Sunset. The sunset.
The sunset.
The natural light is over. Now we got this. And
Like,
now I got
We didn't
Suzanne.
really introduce you.
I kind of introduced them, didn't I?
She did. And I did.
Yeah.
Didn't we?
You didn't say my
That part
brother.
didn't
This is,
hold on. Let me get my glass of wine.
I did, and he added.
look at him in his shorts.
We did this.
Okay, so we're here with Jose Bada, who is Melissa's brother, who Samantha. Oh,
You know that bottle,
Samantha and
Mel?
I have known since he was 17.
No.
So welcome, Jose.
Hola, hola, hello, hello. Thank you for
All right.
having me. Straight out of PR, sipping on some Castillero del Diablo. I'm showing this to you, Mo, because this was Papi's red wine.
Really?
Yeah, he always used to buy this.
Oh.
Yeah, that was his shit.
Oh.
That was like that was his joint.
And I have to have some when I go
Yeah, so every time
Maryland.
I see it, I grab a bottle, and
Mm.
so I'm pouring me one right now.
I was like going through everything, and I was like finding, like, even like he from all different Latino cultures and brands and everything, from the makeup artists to the makeup itself to the hairstylists to everything, the mariachi band, the old girl mariachi band, and
Yeah, but you see, that does happen a lot. See, that's the thing. People like him, like me, like exist. Like I've always been like all pro Latino. Like I had a gala, and I'm like, I am going to hire a
Mhm,
a Hispanic or a woman of color. She had to
mhm,
be a woman of color, and I ended up hiring a Palestinian woman.
mhm,
And I wanted to support, and she was she did a great job. So I
mhm,
just feel like, you gotta hit them in the pocket too. Like, you can't
mhm,
just complain about racism and things and think that, or the government, and think that it's not gonna there are ways we can do things that don't require us going into the street. And one of them is by supporting, especially when there's racism in hiring or not hiring us or
mhm,
not promoting us, because that's a thing. Me working with women of color who are in corporate and all these systems and all these workplace spaces, you get to middle management, but you don't get to the vice presidency or the presidency. And look at my cousin, it took her forever. And she had
mhm,
so much experience compared to her counterparts. So, I mean, this is a common everyday thing that people don't really are only finally starting to talk about, unless you're talking about it amongst each other. And one way is to hit them in the pocket, is to really, really, say, well, I'm not putting my money towards it. I haven't stepped, and I'm guilty. I love Amazon. So, I mean, it's hard to do
mhm.
everything. Listen, we're
Right.
human. But I don't go to
Mhm,
Target because I found out of, how they, dismiss the DEI and just everything else that's been going on. So you do your research, and you're like, okay, realistically, this may not work for me, but I'm not going to go there. I'm not going to do that.
mhm,
Boycott, it works. People of color, Black people, Hispanic people, we make up, don't quote me on percentages because I don't know about that. We know enough that we make up such a big percentage. And if we all come together, and that is the power of Bad Bunny in in his concert on Sunday. If we all come together by putting those Black Caribbean islands and not taking out that colorism that we all, that we've been gaslit to believe, white is right, although my parents didn't do it, but for some people that's what they're taught, assimilation. And it's like, you're supposed to like put down your culture in order to blend in. No. And I think that and then what happens? There's racism against the Black people, against the Black Caribbeans, against
mhm,
the other Latinos, the Caribbean Latinos, and
mhm,
South Americans think they're better, blah, blah, blah. It happens all the time, right? And what he did was he took all of us with those flags and with that unity, including the Black Caribbeans and Brazil and the countries that sometimes get left out, and said they all came charging with those flags. And he came with all those flags with everybody. And then he throws a football, and then everyone starts dancing because that's our culture, right? I just thought that was so powerful. There's so many powerful moments, and you guys can weigh in on that because there's so many. And just the
yeah.
nostalgia. I'll just say this last thing, this nostalgia about the dominoes, the men playing the
Mhm,
dominoes,
Oh,
mhm,
the women, and the other thing with the women and the concrete, it also goes to the Taino women were the matriarchy. It was a
mhm,
matriarchy. And so, like, even that, whether that was their intention or not, that is something we should know, right? We were a matriarchal society. And the colonization just really changed a lot. So I think that we need to remind ourselves of these things. And I think him using art and being his Pisces stellium self, because if we want to bring astrology, I can talk about that later, how that even we are in the age of Aquarius where this collective protest is really being supported with the energies. And Bad Bunny
Yeah.
is one of the people doing it.
Yeah, it's a time of
Mhm.
innovation and change
Mhm.
astrologically from what I was reading.
And the authenticity of him leading him to this point of saying, I am not going to compromise myself. This man could have made more money. He didn't need the money. He says, I am not doing a concert in the United States because of what you guys are doing with ICE. I don't want my people to be whatever, continuously kidnapped and whatnot. And he is now what? Worldwide. He's sold out worldwide. And he sold out with all the residencia in Puerto Rico, bringing money to the Puerto Rico. This guy probably made more money than he ever would have coming to the US. Why? Because
Mhm.
he moved from passion, authenticity. And
Mhm.
he's always giving homage to the everyone before him. Like the reggaeton, the three guys, Don Omar, Teo Calderon, Daddy Yankee, the beginning of like representing the beginning of the reggaeton in Puerto Rico, and him just even know how no matter how famous he is, just knowing all these people that came before him. He's so humble. I just love that about him. This authenticity that he carries, it is being supported with the energies. So it's his we need him.
Sam,
Mhm.
what did you find most touching in the symbolism that he had, or most that you identified with?
I think for me, just it was a healing moment. So, like, everybody got certain people got emotional. Like, I'm gonna get emotional now thinking about it because for me, it made me appreciate my mother that she brought me to Puerto Rico every summer. That we spent at least one holiday every year. So we always went to Puerto Rico twice a year. We went for the whole summer and then we went for a holiday, whether it was Easter, Christmas, Thanksgiving. We went for a holiday because family was like her thing. Like her thing is like family is your blood. Like she always like ingrained that in us that like everything was about her tias coming together, the family coming together, the parties, like every little thing from the piragua stand to the
Mhm.
coconuts to the, dominoes
How
to
about the kids sleeping on
the
the
kids sleeping on the chair.
yeah,
Yeah.
that was I was like, "Oh my god."
Many of us were sleeping on a bed full of
Coats.
coat,
Coats.
right? Like all of us as kids have slept on a bed full of coats. And, for me, it was like, like our family parties now are not like the family parties when I grew up. When I grew up, everybody came and they all moved together. Like it was community. They all lived in Puerto Rico as a community and then they all moved to New York as a community. And from the city, they moved to the Bronx. And all my cousins and uncles, we all lived within blocks of each other. So they were really close knit. And so for me, it made me appreciate the culture in that sense. And I felt like people that got emotional is because something in there you related to and you related to culture. And it doesn't matter what culture you're from. If you have culture, like you see that.
Mhm.
That's how I felt. That's what I took away. I was just like, if I go and I see this beautiful culture being expressed and then see a reflection of myself in it, like that for me was a healing moment. I mean, I jumped up. I was like, Ricky Martin. When I saw him, my God, he's fine.
Mhm.
He's so fine.
He, but I remember him like from when I was a kid watching
Menudo.
Menudo,
Mhm.
then going to Puerto Rico and my tia's there watching her novelas and he's with the long
Mhm.
hair in the novelas and she was so infatuated with him, and to see him up there having the opportunity to speak in Spanish and when I was reading up
Singing.
afterwards where he had to do what everybody else did, which was you're never going to be more than a Latin artist if you don't conform and speak and sing in English. And then he
Mhm.
got to be on this stage and sing in Spanish, which I thought was so beautiful.
The people that were like the sugarcane people,
Yeah.
they probably had like that was some memorable life changing shit. Like I was at the Bad Bunny as a fucking sugarcane.
Yeah.
But I think it's what you were saying, Susanna. What did he say? Because he was singing Monaco,
Oh,
and he
yeah.
said something as "Esto es lo que tú querías." This is what you.
He said,
And he
"This is
put
what you
a white
wanted."
woman singing in English, and then they put the salsa behind, like doing it in salsa, like, oh, this is what you want it. Here you go. And then it's like the
Yes.
salsa behind.
Yeah.
I loved it. I loved it.
Yeah, again, because I don't listen. People talking about I can't understand. I can't understand him either half the fucking time because the way he sings, the blah, blah, blah,
The mumbling.
I can't. So I didn't catch that either until I read about it because I did a lot of research on all the little points 'cause I really wanted to delve into it because I really enjoyed it. And the things that I was just finding out left and right was just like amazing. One of the mothers of Kiss 102.7 or something, the producer, she sent in a video of her mother dancing salsa. Bad Bunny recruited her to be one of the wedding guests. So
Oh,
she's like around the cake and you see her running with the flags. The wedding was real. The husband was a nurse.
I didn't know it was real till I looked it up. I was like, oh shit,
I
real ass wedding.
and then I feel like there was so like even those things, the wedding, there were so many things that it
Yeah.
made people wanna learn more. It made
Mhm.
people say
Yeah.
like, "Oh, I wanna," like, my whole feed is filled with this. Oh my god.
Me too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And worldwide, like, I love seeing the people all over the world posting. 'Cause I saw this one lady, she goes, "I'm from Canada. That's how I'm gonna say it from now on." She's like, said Canada made me feel bonita, bonita. She was like going on, and I was dying laughing. I'm like, I love it. I love it. I love it. Even one of my students, he wrote this whole thing and he goes, I loved it. I don't see what there's so much hate. He goes, I'm Romanian. And he goes, I even see my culture in that.
Mhm.
And he was just
Mhm.
like, there's so many things in there that, I just felt like it was showing how you can take pain and trauma and all that and turn it into pride and passion and purpose and power.
Mhm.
And I just felt like it gave us hope, especially in this time. It gave us hope where it's and a reminder that, we are the people. I think
Yeah.
people forget that.
And
Yeah.
also that America is not only the United fucking States.
Right.
North, Central, South people.
Right.
America is
Love seeing him like he brought her out in New York, Nueva York, and how like growing up, like the three of just even if you were first generation, just growing up in New York City, and
Right.
having her bring that like Samantha said, that love of culture. Because like our mom took us to Puerto Rico every year because she's the only sibling here. So if she
Right.
didn't do that, we would not be so connected to our cousins. And so I
Mhm.
think that I feel that with Doñita, she was like one of the last social clubs left in New York. She's in Williamsburg. And what she ended up doing was buying all the nearby apartments, and they're trying to kick her out, right? They're trying to buy her out, offering her $9 million, but she
Mhm.
owns this whole strip and she refuses. And then they
Mhm.
did a whole thing on her, and she's like, she barely charges. The
Mhm.
community, the Puerto Rican community, is the one that keeps it open, and she pays for it by owning the other buildings
oh, and
or
once
the
a
other.
week she gives away food. She doesn't even charge.
She doesn't even charge. She goes, "Si me quieren dar $2 para una
She
agüita,
was
pues."
yeah, she's like, you come and eat. When the food runs
Very
out, the food runs out. That's what she says. She's like, that's it. We eat until the food runs out. And it's funny because like,
I have to cook anyway, so
yeah.
she says.
So
Mhm.
last month on that topic, last month I did a show with a friend of mine out here on the island in Aguadilla, and it was like, it was in a neighborhood. It was like right by the water, but it was in the hood. They set up a stage. It was a
Mhm.
it was a whole graffiti mural thing where there was a bunch of graffiti artists, and then they set up a stage in front, and there were performances. There was a beat battle, DJ, salsero. Like it was on point. Anyway, the once the show was like towards the end, they were like, "Oh, si quieren comer like comida por ahí, if there's food, go over there." And I was just like, "All right, like, do they take cards?" I'm thinking it's like a spot, and it was like, "No, gratis." It's like it was a couple, it was an old couple that
Mhm.
was, it was their house, and they just cooked food for the entire, and this is like the neighborhood. This isn't just like 10,
Mhm.
11 people, and I got two plates. I got two,
I bet you
like
did.
I ate one and I went back to just say thank you. Get otro. I was like, well, if you have enough. She's like, aquí va a sobrar. Like, I'm just curious the size of caldero that they had because, like, the way they were feeding people, it's like it's like that. It's the island shit. It's
Yeah.
that was like, oh yeah, whatever. I mean,
Community.
whole plate. This isn't some. This is like I shouldn't have eaten two plates, but I did. And it was just like,
Bet you was
yeah, the
good too.
community and like free drinks and just people
Mhm.
giving me beers and just the culture.
Yeah.
Just like, we're all here. The fuck is a $1 medalla gonna break my pockets? Like that,
Mhm.
and it's deeper than that. It's just in the roots, you know? It's in our roots to just be like that, to say hello, to smile, to fucking say buen provecho when it's time to eat, or, you know, to a fucking stranger.
Mhm.
It's so funny. I go to New York and I'll like smile at someone and they look at me like I'm fucking retarded. They're just like, "Why are you
Mhm.
smiling at me? What's your intention? Get the fuck out of my
Mhm.
space." And over here, it's like you could do it to a man or woman. You're
Mhm.
not a pervert. You're not a fucking weirdo. It's just
Right.
being polite and it's genuine. There's no ill intention. I mean, listen, we're humans. I'm sure there's
Yeah.
some shit going on out there that I have not experienced. Thank you. So, but in general, just in a cultural perspective, that's how it is. So seeing Toñita do what you know, doing what she's doing in New York, it's yeah, it's a piece of the island just being like that. And a lot of people don't get that, you know, like it,
She's probably gonna blow up even more now. I was like, "Hmm, maybe we should
She's
go."
been blown up. She's
yeah,
blown
she's
up since
Yeah.
been
Nueva York, and she's 80 something years old,
Mhm.
and she fights. She goes to the legislation when they're trying to like kick her out and hit her with this fine and hit her with that. She's going to the court with, and her community is backing her, taking her and helping her. But she's out there. She doesn't. I'm not giving this up. This is for my culture. This is for my people. My whole everyone here is already so much gentrification in Williamsburg and in so many parts of New York, and I give it to her, to have that passion and to have that drive to keep our culture. And I think that that's why the New Yorican culture is so big for us because, that is really what Samantha was saying, whether family is such a big part of being Latino, period, and so especially for us speaking from the Puerto Rican's perspective, that is such a big part. I remember Mami Goya, our grandmother, really always talking about that family is everything. And so I think that family and culture and like really passing that down to my kids, where my kids are like on their Instagram or Danny's like, can my older son in college, he's like, Mom, can you order me a Dominican and Puerto Rican tapestry? To have that cultural pride and to be,
Mhm.
and then like his sweet mate has the Mexican flag and his other sweet mate has this flag. And it's just like to raise your kids to like really just love who they are, knowing that, they're going to be second generation. It's not going to be the same, and that's okay. But at least a lot of it is being passed down in a way where they have that pride, and that affects self worth and self esteem. And I think
Mm.
it's just such a beautiful thing. And to seeing him do that on stage, and I'm like, oh my God, I used to get piraguas every week, like 3 times a week. Like I used to
Yeah.
get tamarindo. Like, this is what's going through your head as a New Yorker. You're like, oh my God, I used to get tamarindo with Nancy, my bestie from high school. And it's just like immediately I go to that 15-year-old girl who's like seeing that the piragua
Yeah.
guy, and it just, and then the
He
people
goes
I
she
was
have
around
a
didn't
sugar
know about it, and I
yeah,
told them.
but I remember being a kid and, like,
Mhm.
my
Gnawing on it?
grandfather taking the sugar cane yeah, and cutting it and
Mhm.
making like, giving me a piece, and he's like, "You just suck on it." And I was like,
Yeah.
okay. And I remember, going to Puerto Rico and they would take us, to the campo and they'd have everything there from
Mhm.
animals to all kinds of fruits and vegetables and go out there and you pick it. I mean, I didn't grow up. I was too young, but my older cousins had to pick, coffee beans and
Mhm.
eggs and all that. I didn't have to do that, thankfully. But it was funny, the next morning, my husband goes to the gym, and so he went up he's like the mayor, so he talks to everybody when he goes to the he doesn't go just to work out, he socializes, and he goes around and he's talking to a couple of guys, and he goes, "Yeah, I went to these couple," like, "Oh, what'd you think of the halftime?" And he goes they're like, "Oh, I didn't watch it." And he goes, "Wow." He goes, "Way to support, like, the Latin
wouldn't they have
culture."
some crazy alternative Kid Rock shit?
I'm not even gonna attempt that, but he was just like he was just like, "Oh, they don't you didn't watch it? Like, why wouldn't you watch it?" And they're like, "Oh, I'm not into him." And he goes, "Yeah, but that wasn't the point." And I saw and he was like really shocked. And so I was laughing and I was reminding him, I was like, "Listen, you got it. Like as a black man, you saw it and you were like, oh, this is the culture. We're gonna support it. As a black man, I'm gonna support this because I like this. I want the culture represented. I want people represented. I support this, the unity." And I told him, I said, remember when we first started dating, when him and I first started dating, the first bunch of dates we went on, wherever we were, it didn't matter if it was a homeless man or a man in a suit or just a regular dude. If he saw another black man, he nodded.
Mhm.
Mhm.
They're not.
And I would go, "Do you know him?" "No, I don't know him." And then after like the third or fourth date, I was like, "Yo, dude, tell me now, you gay?" Like, what's happening, right? Why do you nod at every black man? And he goes, that's what we do. That's
Mhm.
what we do. And it's like they support each other even if you're not even looking. And he goes, but then to have a platform like this and not support, he's like, what is wrong with you? Like, how do you not support that? So I loved seeing the black community support it and be like, I hope they don't speak English. I hope it's all in Spanish. I'm gonna vibe because I know a vibe.
Mhm.
And I felt like that was the whole point. Like you're missing the message. I don't know.
I mean, you can see. I mean, you don't have to understand the language. You can
right.
see. I mean, it was
Listen.
one of the best productions in
Right.
halftime history.
And smart too. Smart.
Production,
Intelligent.
period. It is so
Mhm.
much, so much wealth of information, of symbolism. Even if you didn't understand it, you could have just looked at it and had curiosity, and you could have just felt the music, felt the vibe. He had all
Yeah.
kinds of music. He didn't have just reggaeton. He had all of his. He does a lot of other things, and so I
Mhm.
think that you have a closed mind and heart because you choose to,
Mhm.
not because this guy sang in Spanish.
Mhm. Yeah. No,
You
I
know?
felt like he
It's because it's
represented
all about
everything.
Someone made a good point. You wouldn't go to an opera where
right.
they sing in Italian. Even when they do an opera in English, I don't know what the fuck you're saying because
Right.
it's just the vibrato of it in the
Right.
opera,
It's
the
Feeling.
way you deliver it.
emotion.
And what's going on visually, how they sing, which is amazing. And I don't have to know what the fuck they're saying.
Italian,
Right? You know what I mean?
a lot of them
So
are in
I would
Italian.
just
I mean, let's be honest. Come on.
yeah.
I mean, there are people who are so used to being centered. How many
Mhm.
times have I watched the Super Bowl and I could give two shits about Bruce Springsteen. I could give two shits about Katy
Right.
Perry. I could give two shits about many people that have performed.
Mhm.
You've never heard me post anything on social media, complain.
Mhm.
I just don't watch it, or I watch it and I'm bored. I don't care because we are used to it being about them. And I think that, we have had to conform. We have had to, join in. And now, in the last decades, we are bringing our own things, our own cultures, our own music, and they get blended. And now that we actually have the opportunity to really put these front and center, you have a problem with it. And now
Mhm.
you want to pick at something.
Well,
So you want to pick at,
it's like anything else historically. What I was saying is like any person that can move a large group is a threat.
yes.
Anybody that can change a person's mindset or like, just awareness, whatever, is a threat. So like there's always going to be hate. Like I heard that he was getting death threats, that he'd be wearing
Oh,
bulletproof fucking vests and shit. So,
yeah.
and he still
Yeah.
went through with it. So
Mhm.
like that's, that's how
But can
strong,
you imagine the weight of that? Like
that's
to
what I'm
know that you
saying.
have huge thing happening. You're putting so much work into this. It means something bigger than you and anybody you know. And you're like, I have to worry about my life, my family's life, like the weight of that, the stress of
Mhm.
that.
Yeah.
Like
Mhm.
still be able to show up and put on a performance that was just excellent.
Yeah.
Like he's so intelligent and people don't give him that credit.
And they even
He's
showed the
so
stats after the Super Bowl. There was like 400% increase in Shazams and fucking, you know what I'm
A
saying?
large
These millions or billion new streams. Like he just got more awareness and more fans,
Mhm.
like
Mhm.
people that probably didn't even know who the fuck he was, but they were watching the game and the hype was it. So like I love that. I love
And
that.
I think what Americans forget is that if I mean I travel a lot.
Mhm.
Every place I go, those people, everybody else in the world speaks more than one language. So in the United
Mhm.
States, we're the only ones that speak only one language. So they don't realize like other people around the world, this is a global stage, right? They're appreciating the culture, right?
Mhm.
They're
Yeah.
appreciating the symbolism. They're appreciating it. Anybody outside of US is appreciating it because they speak multiple languages. They know about culture. If they put Bollywood on the Super Bowl, I would be vibing. I wouldn't know what the hell they're saying, but I'd be
Mhm.
up like
Mhm.
I go to an Indian wedding. Why can't someone invite me?
Right. Right. Anybody?
I was saying that too. we were we were talking about it at work, and I work with college kids. And I was telling them the time. I said, if you have an appreciation for culture, you'll love it.
Yes.
And it doesn't matter what your background is. If you have culture, you would enjoy that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I said, I never forget. And I was telling them, I said, we all did. We went to a funeral for our friend Bonnie when her father died.
Mhm.
And we all sat there and we went to just pay our respects, and then we stayed. And we
Mhm.
stayed because we were curious, because it was interesting, because we had never seen a wake like that.
Like burning things.
Like, yeah,
Like,
they were
Yep.
they were
burning
just
things, there
burning
was food,
things, and
there
I'm
was
like, "Oh,
pictures, there was
Mhm.
incense, there
I
was
went."
flowers,
Inside.
there
Mhm.
was a certain dress, like, there was
Mhm.
and we were
The
all like,
It was
monks
a whole
came out, right?
experience.
we
The
all sat
monks?
through the
Mhm.
whole thing
Yeah.
because we were like, "We're
Mhm.
staying. I wanna see this. This is interesting to me."
Didn't we receive something too? Like, they gave us coin, or they gave us something.
Well, I know we had
Whatever.
to go up with the incense, and we had to
Okay,
say
maybe,
something
yeah.
prayer, and we had to go up one by one. I remember that. I remember there being a whole spread of food,
Mhm.
and that
There's a
I was
Buddhist. There's Buddhist. Yeah.
yeah, it was so interesting, and I just felt like the world finds this interesting. Why don't you?
A connectedness that we are otherwise, like, just either distracted or just by design, to be honest. Like,
Mhm.
it's easier to keep us, controlled or, distracted
Exactly.
or manipulated when we're separated. But when we're connected and united, it's like, we have this authentic, genuine connection with with a whole nother group of human beings that are like-minded and have genuine love for each other and just want fucking peace and harmony. And it's like it makes us think and critically think, and they don't want that. They want to spoon feed whatever the fuck is out there, and if we're separated, it's easier to
To
judge it
control.
to their
Yeah.
advantage. So I don't know. That's powerful thing that I think that he did in this performance and just as an artist and what he's doing in general. But to broadcast it in the way that he did and in fucking 13 minutes, like, you
And he did
literally
get a lot
changed
of
the world,
pushback from the NFL, like, in the beginning.
Say that again?
He did get a lot of pushback from the NFL in the beginning with, like, English portion, like, and he was kept saying, "No, I'm not
Oh, yeah.
doing it in English."
It's like, bro, they're threatening my life. You think I care about your fucking threats? You know what I'm saying? Like, they wanna murder me, and you're fucking, sour about.
Well, he knew his value to
Yeah,
them, like, he knew his value no matter what they were trying to impose on him, he would push back, he knew his value, and they ended up,
yeah.
giving him what he was saying he wanted to do, ended up conforming to what he wanted to do.
He
Mhm.
because his
Um
attitude was like, "I don't need you. I'm doing this for my
Right.
people. I don't need to do this." He wasn't making money. He was just like, "I don't need to do this." Bad Bunny from the beginning, even when, before all of this, he used to make huge productions with his own money in Latin America, not just Puerto Rico, because he wanted his people, meaning his Latino people, to get the level of show that they deserved because they did not have the arenas that maybe the US or other developed countries had. And he would bring his private plane on his planes and hire and charter all the equipment to bring the level of caliber to his countries, to the Latino countries. This is years ago. This isn't recent. So I mean, this man has always had this passion and this integrity and this love for his people. He can I mean, you could say he could have done other things to even make more money, but the reality is by living his authentic self and doing what he's doing, he's actually benefiting even more. So for
Right.
him to do the Super Bowl is like, or how do you feel about doing the Super Bowl? He's like, I'm very happy for my people. Like he wasn't even happy for himself. He was like, I'm happy for my people. I'm glad that I can do this for the culture and for my people. And with ICE and everything going on, we needed this. We needed
Mhm.
this win. So to me, the marching with the flags, man, that
All of
was
the flags,
that was
all of the
I'm saying all the flags, all the flags.
yeah, I mean
Yeah, I just felt like all the people that got emotional watching it, like, they felt seen. It was like,
mhm,
"Somebody sees me." Like,
Mhm.
that was really, like, the emotion, was like, "I'm finally seen. I'm finally heard. I'm finally represented. I'm finally feel unified. Somebody
Yeah.
made me feel like I belong."
That connectedness.
mhm,
That's
Where my whole life I've been told I'm not. I'm not
mhm.
Spanish enough. I'm not white enough.
Yes,
I'm not
yes,
all my
Or
yes,
I'm
been
Spanish and I'm not good enough because I'm
right.
Spanish.
No,
Like
yeah,
there's all these different experiences too.
yeah.
And it is
mhm.
like I see all the clips. I think it's the cutest thing with like different ethnicities or different Latin countries or different countries in general, like Jamaica even. but like of them jumping up and just like little kids, like adults, like little kids, like they said Ecuador. They never say Ecuador. Like it's just beautiful because it's like that simple thing. It's a simple thing. And yet you felt included because for whatever reason and for racism and for whatever other reasons being immigrants, it's just so many levels to this depending on your personal experience or being bicultural, like, us, like be first generation, like having one foot in one culture and one foot in here and figuring that out. Like it's so many layers to this that I thought are beautiful. And for him to celebrate as many as he could, but most of them was really unifying and not only unifying, powerful. Like Jose said, like powerful.
Jose, how was it over there after?
It was
Were
a
there a lot of
fucking party
people?
over here. Any excuse to have a get together, like
holiday.
like sun's out. Let's get some beers. Like so. The cool thing was like my boy invited me to his daughter's quinceañera. He rented an Airbnb like 5 minutes from here, so
nice.
I was able to go there and we were watching everything poolside.
Wow.
So it was dope.
That's the way.
Yeah, so he had his people from New York visit. So it was a house mixed with Puerto Ricans from Vega Baja and New Yorkers. Like it was perfect. It's like Bad Bunny's from Vega Baja. So yeah, we had 3 domino tables going at the same fucking time, beer everywhere, all the men in the fucking kitchen cooking. We had ceviche, we had like paella. Yo, it was so fucking good. But yeah, it was the whole area. I mean, I stayed local, but every like driving home and driving to the house, to the Airbnb, every bar was packed. All the TVs were on. Everybody was just, and even afterwards coming back, it was just, good vibes. You felt the energy, but yeah, no, it was.
I mean, that's Puerto Rico. Like when I introduced Jose, my husband, to my grandmother and my extended family in Puerto Rico, and Vitito, like Susana's husband, who's our cousin, took us we went out for a drink somewhere in Piñones in San Juan, near San Juan, and Tito Trinidad, who's a huge Puerto Rican boxer legend, was just fighting that night, and the whole highway was packed, and people like waving the flag, excited about him winning. And it's just that's just really the vibe. Like that's just the beauty.
The only thing I said was missing was there being like a beauty pageant, like Miss Puerto Rico's has like, I think Haven looked it up. My daughter looked it up because she goes, oh yeah, Puerto Rico has won Miss Universe 5 times.
Yeah, I was gonna say mad times.
The most runner-ups
in the universe.
In a universe,
it's Puerto Rico. The most runner-ups. It's been Puerto Rico and the Philippines.
Dang. Yep. I know that one.
I remember being in Puerto Rico whenever there's a beauty pageant and everybody's glued to the TV to see Miss Puerto Rico up there. And my uncle, my mom's brother, loved the beauty pageants. It was like his favorite thing to watch. And
a bunch of beauties
to watch the beauty pageants. And I was like, man, that's the only thing that was missing.
Yeah, interesting.
How about give me a Spanish word that the pronunciation makes no sense? Because I got one.
Go ahead.
Hielo.
What?
Yes. Do you know how it's spelled?
Hielo.
All the words.
That's what I said. Hielo. Yellow.
Yeah, but the H is silent.
Yeah,
in our
exactly.
vernacular.
Thank you. I was waiting for this.
That's not weird.
How is that weird to you, though?
Yellow is like saying yellow, like YOLO, like yellow. So there's no double L, there's no Y. H is silent. So then that leaves EILO. Ailo. So no, it makes no fucking sense.
Yellow.
Ailo. If H is silent, as it is in every other word in Spanish, right? ¿Qué vas a hacer? Hacer, Hacer. The H is silent. So the H being silent,
yellow.
Yellow. EILO. Ailo.
It's I.
Point is, makes no fucking sense pronunciation. Can you come up with one?
Yellow. It's that. I don't know. That sounds right to me. No, I can't because
I vernacular, sir.
That makes sense to you?
Well, only because H is silent in the Spanish vernacular. So
and
I mean,
it's IE, not EI. I don't know.
Yellow, because the I is.
I'm going to cut this part out.
No, it's EI. It's EI. Or is it IE? That's even worse.
Yellow.
Okay,
It
hielo, hielo.
Hielo.
So
Hielo.
I've been pronouncing it wrong my whole life. It's hielo.
You've been
It's
saying halo?
hielo. I've been saying like yellow, like YOLO, like yellow.
Yellow. Did you see my Jill Zarin rant reel that I did?
Like, you could see their disdain for like, I'm
Oh,
like,
I
"Well,
when we
she's
talk
just
about our
racist."
She looks so fucking stupid.
She had hate in her eyes. Like, she's just hateful. And
This
I'm like,
one
you know what? Okay, reveal yourselves,
I
people.
don't know who
It's
y'all
all
talking
good.
about, but
There's people who are
Jill
hating on
Zarin
the
is one of
show.
the housewives of either New York or New Jersey. I think in New York, New York.
New York, New York.
She just went on this rant how she couldn't understand how there were no white people anywhere.
Only in the audience.
I mean,
They're
and
watching the show.
that the NFL sold out. They're sellouts because this is a 75. I don't know what year tradition it was. I don't know that it's not American. And I mean, it was just the dumbest fucking shit. And I really didn't want to get involved in, tearing someone apart. And then they made fun of Lady Gaga. They didn't know it was her because she looked like she had a facelift. Meanwhile, this bitch got Botox, fillers, injects. She probably has a facelift.
Yeah.
Why?
She's like
Why are
65.
you saying that about a woman? Like that's completely off topic. First of all, off your stupid topic. Why are you breaking down a woman because of a facelift that she may have had? Who the fuck cares? Who cares? So I did a whole thing.
I want to
Well,
see
I
it.
feel like the one with Megyn Kelly was hateful. No, it's like what I was saying earlier about centering themselves. It's like you basically don't want, the racism around not wanting this, even though it was basically made out of a business decision as well, because he is the highest earning,
Yeah, that's how they make the.
whatever, a performer or whatever. It was a
Mhm.
business decision as well. And it was just really interesting. Yet, who in the history, when have we ever had another show? Because we didn't like the performers. I mean, it's just really, if you really think about it in a logical way, you're just showing yourselves.
It's just in
You're
your
raising
face.
yourself.
There's no like.
But do you remember how it started, the halftime show too? Or who started the halftime
Yeah,
show?
in Living Color, because it was boring as fuck.
Yeah.
There was nothing
it was
going on. Yeah.
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 So shut the fuck up, motherfuckers. Shut the
No.
fuck up.
Oh,
Because a
Living
black
Color.
show
Remember in Living
started the
Color?
halftime
Yo,
show.
I need to see some
That was
reruns.
the
Those were the days.
best show.
I love that. I loved
Yeah,
it.
they started it and then the NFL took it over.
Mhm.
Again,
Yeah.
because it's about money. At the end
Mhm.
of the day, it's about money.
Well, I think that, and then also Jay-Z having the money. I
Rock
think it was
Nation.
having.
Mhm.
Rock Nation. They're the ones that did the production.
Yeah, like having the creative control. So why you've had Usher and you've had to have Kendrick Lamar and Bad Bunny. I mean, it wasn't white people hiring them. Like it was definitely,
Right.
Yo, you
Jay-Z
want to hear
had a.
some bochinche? You know the whole
Yeah.
the whole the whole thing about P Diddy. You know how that was all 50 Cent that did that
Yeah.
whole. He says that he has a whole shit on Jay-Z and Beyonce that makes fucking P Diddy look like a saint.
God.
Well, the tea
So
has got to get spilt because I want to hear about
I
that.
I don't know. There's some dirt. There's some dirt. Listen, when you get up there, when you go up there with those elites, they ain't gonna let you
Mhm.
be billionaire forever unless you play.
Eyes
You know what I'm
wide
saying?
shut.
You gotta,
Mhm.
yeah, exactly. Thank you. Wow, that's a
Mhm.
classic. I gotta watch that shit.
Mhm.
What'd you
You
say?
know,
Eyes
eyes
wide
wide
shut.
shut.
That's
You know that shit is happening on a big level.
what little
Mhm.
skimpy mask. You know who it is.
Mhm. Yep. Telling you.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. When you're up there, come on. I think that's why like there was a whole thing when Dave Chappelle disappeared for fucking years. Like, he was making that money and they came up to him. Like he would crack jokes about it, but there's truth in that shit. They come up to you
Mhm.
and they like, that's it. You have to conform to their rules or whatever, or everything gets taken away, you get discredited, fucking whatever. So
Would love to sit with him at a dining room table.
Dave Chappelle?
He'd be one of. Mhm.
Yeah, right.
And that's the thing, staying true and staying to your integrity, staying to
Mhm.
your
Yep.
not being in. And I
Mhm.
feel like that's well, again, people that were against Bad Bunny were saying things like, "Oh, he wears dresses," and like all the hate comments before it happened. And I'm like, first of all, you're seeing a man that's evolved in his artistry, he's evolved in stuff
Right.
like that. So you're talking about something he did like 10 years ago when you're not seeing what's relevant today and what's going on today and what he's representing today and what he's trying to do today because he took all that time to make his platform and you're just trying to discredit him over dumb shit.
How many past fucking artists wore fucking skirts and
That's
dress?
not just that he did it as a stand for the trans community. because at the time, I think they even killed a trans woman. So he didn't wear dresses like that. He wore to a few shows, he wore the skirt to represent, like, what they're doing to trans people. So, again, this man is full of, like, advocacy and integrity, and, like, he even talks so much about women, and he even did a song on domestic violence, like, people, like, yeah, so, like Samantha said, they're taking the clip of, "Oh, he wears dresses." First of all, it happened a long time ago. Second of all, he did it for a reason. And third of all, like Susanna said, there is fashion in that too.
Mhm.
So, but do you see him wearing dresses all the time? Is that what you choose to focus on? There's so much more to him and what he does than something like that. So,
That's
to be
totally
honest, it's
irrelevant.
revealing you. It's really revealing your
And
Hmm.
well, listen, I follow these people on purpose. I know people, friends of mine, where they're like, I can't even go on social media because I don't
Mm.
want to see this side of people I know. And I'm
Yeah.
like,
Oh,
no, I want
I
to
don't
see
like to
you.
be in denial. I
I
know.
would like to see this side of
I
people.
want to.
I'm not gonna unfollow you. You can unfollow me, and then when you try to friend me back, I laugh at you and think that's peace out. But
Mhm.
I'm gonna follow you because I want to know where you stand. I want to know what you're posting. I want to
Yeah.
know. I'm watching
Mhm.
quiet. I
Mhm.
got you.
It's
Showed me who you are.
2026. Time's up, people. Enough.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just say it with your chest.
Like,
You're racist. Say I'm a
No,
racist. Like, stop with this whole like. Stop. Like,
own your
we're
shit.
tired. We're
mhm.
tired of it. Yeah,
Own
like
your
we're
shit,
tired of it.
yo.
Stop with the whole, no time for that. No
Well,
time.
on that note,
Ain't nobody got time for that.
We ain't no time for that. On that note, I gotta go to baseball. I love you all.
Have
fuck
Love
fun.
you.
her. Fuck her. Because when
Is that what you
somebody
did?
shows
Is
you
that the
who
video I
they
haven't
are,
seen?
believe them the
What
first
video?
time. Billy Porter. Love him. Yeah.
I'm lost, but it
I want to
sounds
see
funny.
that.
You never seen that?
Who? Bye.
Bye.
Peace.